Welcome back to another budget video.
We are on a roll because we want y'all to ball on a budget like we do, because travel does not need to be expensive.
We spent 19 days traveling through Europe. We went to London, Amsterdam, and then we did like a quick tour all over Italy. So we're gonna talk about our flight, trains, food, excursions, all that stuff, and let you know how much it was so that you guys can plan ahead of time. So this was our first trip that we had taken alone, so we were not the greatest at budgeting, especially with food. We spent a lot on food. We spent a lot more than we needed to because we were eating out for every single meal. I would recommend, if you're going backpacking, buy groceries to keep with you in your hostel. Hostels always have kitchens that you can use to make food, like toasters, kettles, things like that. So especially buy breakfast food.
So the first major expense that we had was the round trip flight from Calgary to London, and that came to a total of $764.19. We were watching these flights like a hawk.
Yeah.
We really were aiming. We really wanted a round trip flight under $1,000, and then we saw this one went down below 800, and we were like, snatch it up.
Yeah.
We need it.
We booked it about 3 weeks before we left. We find that that's generally when we get the lowest price for flights.
Now that we're like talking about it, I'm like, I'm thinking 4 weeks out might be the best time. So our next big expense would have been our hostel expenses. And then when we were booking on Hostel World, and we didn't realize that you don't always necessarily need to pay a deposit beforehand, but we did. So we paid a deposit total that came to $121.11.
I'm not 100% sure about this, but I'm pretty sure Hostel World takes a deposit from you just to hold a room, and then they take that amount out of the money you would be spending to stay at that hostel.
After the deposit, which was $121.11, we paid $151.89 for the rest of the hostels when we were there. And then after the hostels, our other expenses were transport within Europe. So we tried to stick to trains, but we did take a couple flights. We ended up taking a flight from London to Amsterdam, a flight from Amsterdam to Milan, and then also a flight from Venice back to London. And those flights totaled out to $404.68. The breakdown of what each hostel was and what each flight was is in the description. So don't fret, again, everything is in the description.
Yeah. We took a lot of different trains. Most of them were most of them were to different cities within Italy when we were traveling around. The train total that we spent on every train ride we took was $369.40.
And that also includes a couple of train rides like within cities, like the metro rides, and it also includes our ferry ride from Naples to Capri. It's just any sort of transport like that is in that total. Trains, boats.
We're gonna summarize a quick list of the excursions that we did while we were in Europe. We did quite a few, so bear with us, and then we'll tell you the total, and we'll separate them each in the description.
In London, we went to the Tower of London, and we also had to pay for an Oyster Card, which is what you get to pay for the tube transport around central London.
The tube is so fun.
In Amsterdam, we paid for a gondola ride and then the Anne Frank house. In Florence, we went to the Uffizi Gallery, and we booked that before. In Rome, we went to the Capuchin Crypts, we went to the Vatican, we went to the Colosseum. And then we also went to Capri for the day, and we did another private boat tour on that, which was extra. And then we did an evening trip to Pompeii. So that is all of the excursions that we did. All of our excursions came to $596.34.
Most of the excursions we paid for were like once in a lifetime kind of experiences. Like we did a night tour of the Colosseum, and it was completely empty, which cost a little bit more. And the private boat tour in Capri obviously cost more than you would need to spend if you were going to Capri. So, okay, I'm a little bit ashamed of this number, but for 19 days in Europe, we spent $760 on food.
It's a big exchange rate.
In Italy, we had pizza for or pasta for every meal.
Also, I want to say this, if you are eating out in touristy areas in Europe, go a couple streets back, because it's going to be a lot less expensive a couple streets back than the first restaurant you see right outside of the Colosseum. And then we probably spent about $300 on just shopping and general things. I bought a couple dresses in London, like some makeup. Emma bought a ring in Venice.
That jewelry shop is owned by a really sweet man, and he basically sells solid gold rings with coral, real coral, and I paid 100 euros for this ring, so about $200, maybe a little bit less. Almost. Okay, this is the ring. It's solid gold and real coral, and it's a memory of my Europe trip. Little things like that, like think about stuff like that before you're budgeting if you're gonna want to buy something like that to remember your trip by.
Our total came to $34.67.61. We kind of picked $3,500 to see what we could do because this was our first trip. We didn't really know. In hindsight now, I feel like we could do a lot more with $3,500. So just be smart with your money. Keep in mind that you don't need to spend lots to do cool things, and you also don't need to spend lots on food. Please grocery shop if you're staying in hostels.
We hope this was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions about Europe, or if you have any questions about our itinerary or what we spent, you can comment down below. We'll get back to you for sure.
If you want to see our itinerary and what we did, you can go check out that video. We'll link that in the description. But comment what you want to see. I don't know. Thank you for watching. Come back next week. We'll figure out something else to talk about. Maybe not money. Let us know.
Please like this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more. We have our Instagram and our TikTok linked in the description.
I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yes. Okay, bye.